All right, so get this, those tiny bumps we all have on our front teeth.
Uh-huh.
Turns out they're not just random quirks.
Okay.
They actually hold clues to our evolution and how our chompers have adapted over time.
Interesting.
We're about to take a deep dive into the world of mamelons, why we have them, what they do, and what happens when they don't go away as expected.
What's so intriguing is how these tiny features, often overlooked, can reveal so much about our dental development and even our ancestral past.
Exactly. Let's start with the basics. What exactly are mamelons, and what's with the name that sounds like a French pastry?
Well, mamelons are those small ridges you see on the edges of incisors, the front teeth we use for biting. And you're right, the name does have a French connection. Mamelon actually translates to nipple.
Okay.
A bit of an odd comparison maybe, but it refers to their slightly rounded shape.
Okay, I'm already hooked.
Uh-huh.
So why do we have these mini nipples on our teeth? What purpose do they serve?
Well, they actually play a crucial role in the eruption process, especially for incisors which are thinner than other teeth. Mamelons help distribute the force as the teeth push through the gums, ensuring they emerge correctly.
So it's like a built-in guidance system for our teeth. Pretty cool. But if they're so important for eruption, why don't they stick around forever?
That's where the adaptability of our teeth comes in. As we start biting and chewing, those mamelons naturally wear down. It usually happens within the first few years after our permanent incisors come in around ages 6 to 8.
So those prominent mamelons you often see in kids are like a sign of their teeth settling in, getting used to all the tromping action.
Exactly.
But what about those cases where the mamelons don't disappear? What's going on there?
That's where it gets really interesting. Persistent mamelons can sometimes be a sign of dental misalignment. For example, an open bite where the upper and lower front teeth don't meet can prevent the wear and tear that would normally smooth those bumps away.
So it's like those little bumps are waving a flag saying, hey, something might be off with the alignment here.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Such a tiny detail can point to a bigger issue.
Exactly. And Dr. Nandita Lilly, a renowned orthodontist, highlighted this connection in her research, pointing out how various factors like crowded teeth underbites or even habits like thumb sucking
Oh, wow.
can contribute to those persistent mamelons.
It's a good reminder that seemingly unrelated habits can have a real impact on our teeth. So what should someone do if they notice those mamelons sticking around a little longer than expected?
It's always best to consult with a dentist. While the mamelons themselves aren't harmful, the underlying misalignment might need attention potentially through orthodontic treatment.
So it's better to be safe than sorry, especially when it comes to our teeth. And speaking of addressing dental concerns, some people actually choose to have their mamelons removed for cosmetic reasons. Is that a common procedure?
It is becoming more common, yes. While not a medical necessity, some people simply prefer a smoother look for their teeth.
I can understand that, but isn't there a risk of removing too much enamel, which could weaken the teeth?
There is, and that's why it's crucial to consult with a qualified dentist who can assess the individual case and perform the procedure safely. It's also important to have realistic expectations and understand that removing mamelons won't fix any underlying alignment issues.
Right, it's a cosmetic fix, not a solution for any functional problems. This raises an interesting thought. Are we maybe a little too obsessed with altering our natural features these days? Where do we draw the line between personal preference and preserving the integrity of our bodies?
That's a complex question, and there are no easy answers, but it's a conversation worth having as we navigate the ever-evolving world of cosmetic enhancements.
Absolutely. But let's not get too sidetracked. We've covered a lot of ground already about the function of mamelons, their disappearance, and even persistent cases.
And we've only just scratched the surface. These tiny bumps are more than meets the eye, holding clues to our evolutionary past as well.
Well, that's right. Tell me more about this connection to our ancestors. Did cavemen have supersized mamelons or something?
Well, while we can't say for sure about the size, it's believed that our ancestors who had larger teeth and more powerful jaws
Right.
likely had more prominent mamelons.
Makes sense. Their diets were tougher, requiring those strong incisors for biting and tearing. Those mamelons would have been crucial for guiding those teeth through.
Precisely. And as our diets evolved and became softer, our teeth and jaws gradually reduced in size. Consequently, the prominence of mamelons likely decreased as well.
Wow, so those little bumps on our teeth are like a reminder of our chomping legacy. They've been through a lot of changes over time.
It's a testament to how adaptable our species is constantly evolving in response to environmental changes. And this brings us to another fascinating aspect, the potential link between modern diets and the persistence of mamelons.
Okay, I'm all ears. How do our modern eating habits play a role here?
Well, as our diets become increasingly processed and soft, our jaws might not develop as fully as they did for our ancestors. This, in turn, could contribute to dental crowding and misalignment, potentially increasing the likelihood of persistent mamelons.
So those little bumps might be a sign of our changing relationship with food, reflecting a shift from those robust, draw-exercising meals of our ancestors to the softer, more processed foods of today.
Exactly. It's a fascinating example of how seemingly insignificant details can reveal broader trends in our evolution and adaptations.
This whole deep dive has really opened my eyes to the hidden world of mamelons. Who knew these tiny bumps held so much information about our past, present, and even potential future?
It's a testament to the power of observation and the endless wonders that lie within our own bodies.
Before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder. Take a look at your own teeth, maybe even your child's teeth. Can you spot those mamelons?
It's a fun exercise, and it might spark some curiosity about our own dental journey and how those tiny bumps connect us to our evolutionary past.
And on that note, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll delve deeper into the implications of persistent mamelons, the ethics of cosmetic removal, and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We've been exploring this fascinating world of mamelons, those little bumps on our front teeth that most of us probably never gave a second thought to. But as we've learned, they hold clues to our dental development, our evolutionary past,
Right.
and even our modern diets.
It's remarkable how something so seemingly insignificant can spark such a journey of discovery. And we're not done yet. There's still so much more to uncover.
I'm ready for more. Let's pick up where we left off those persistent mamelons. We touched on how they might signal dental misalignment, but are there other factors at play?
Absolutely. Remember that quote we mentioned from Dr. Nandita Lilly?
Yeah.
She highlighted a range of factors that can contribute to those mamelons sticking around.
Yeah.
It's not just about the alignment of the teeth themselves.
Yeah, she mentioned things like crowded teeth, underbites, overjets, even habits like thumb sucking and mouth breathing.
Exactly. It's a perfect illustration of how interconnected our oral health is. These habits, often dismissed as harmless childhood quirks, can actually influence the development of our teeth and those mamelons.
It makes you realize that it's not just about brushing and flossing, it's about being mindful of those habits and how they impact our overall dental well-being.
Precisely. And that's why regular dental checkups are so crucial. Dentists can spot these subtle signs and provide guidance on addressing those habits early on.
Speaking of dentist, I'm curious, do you often have patients come in specifically concerned about their mamelons?
You know, it happens more often than you might think, especially parents of young children.
Oh, really?
They see those little bumps on their kids' brand new permanent teeth and worry that something's wrong.
I can imagine as a parent, you're attuned to every little detail, especially when it comes to your child's health.
It's understandable, but in most cases, I'm able to reassure them that those mamelons are perfectly normal
Right.
and usually disappear over time with regular biting and chewing.
That must be a relief for those parents. It's amazing how a little knowledge can take away so much worry.
It really can, and sometimes simply explaining the purpose of those mamelons and how they aid in tooth eruption is enough to ease their concerns.
Knowledge is power, right? It helps us make informed decisions and feel more confident about our health.
Absolutely. And it can also foster a sense of wonder and appreciation for the intricate workings of our bodies.
Okay, so we've talked about the functional side of mamelons, but let's circle back to those folks who choose to have them removed for cosmetic reasons. I'm curious to get your take on this. What are your thoughts on altering a natural feature purely for aesthetics?
That's a great question, and honestly, it's a complex issue with no easy answers. We live in a society that places a high value on appearances, and our smiles are a big part of that. So I can understand the desire to have a smile that meets those societal standards.
It's true. A bright, confident smile can impact our self-esteem and how we interact with the world. I get it.
However, it's important to remember that mamelons are natural features. Removing them does come with potential risks, even if minimal,
Okay.
such as increased sensitivity or the possibility of weakening the enamel if too much is removed.
So it's a delicate balance, right? Personal preference versus preserving the natural integrity of our teeth.
Exactly. It's a decision that shouldn't be taken lightly. Anyone considering mamelon removal should have an open and honest conversation with their dentist, weighing the pros and cons. Ultimately, it's a personal choice based on individual circumstances and priorities.
I think that's an important point to emphasize. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's about making an informed decision that feels right for you.
Well said. At the end of the day, the most important thing is to have healthy teeth and gums, regardless of whether you choose to keep or remove those little mamelon.
Absolutely. Healthy teeth and gums are the foundation of a beautiful smile, both aesthetically and functionally.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
You know, this whole deep dive into mamelons has given me a newfound appreciation for our teeth. There's so much more than just tools for chewing.
I completely agree. They're a testament to the incredible design of our bodies, offering insights into our overall health development and even our evolutionary journey.
And who would have thought that those tiny bumps could spark such insightful conversations?
It just goes to show there's always something new to learn, even about the most seemingly mundane aspects of ourselves.
It's a reminder to never stop exploring, questioning, and appreciating the wonders of our own bodies. We've delved into the function of mamelons, why they might persist, the pros and cons of cosmetic removal, and even the broader implications for our oral health and self-perception.
It's been a truly fascinating deep dive. I hope our listeners are as captivated by these little bumps as we are.
Me too. Before we wrap up, I have one final thought to leave you with. The next time you brush your teeth, take a moment to really look at them. Notice the details, the shapes, the textures. Think about the journey they've been on from their earliest formation to their current state.
That's a wonderful suggestion. It's such a simple act, but it can really shift our perspective and foster a sense of gratitude for these incredible structures that serve us so well.
It's about slowing down, paying attention, and recognizing the beauty and complexity that exists right within our own mouths.
It's a beautiful reminder that the most fascinating discoveries are often found in the most unexpected places.
And on that note, we'll move on to the final part of our deep dive. We'll be exploring the fascinating connection between mammalians and human evolution. Get ready for some mind-blowing insights. Welcome back to the final part of our Mamelon saga. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? We've gone from those seemingly insignificant bumps on our front teeth
It really has.
to uncovering their role in our dental development, their connection to our modern diets, and now get this. We're going back in time to explore their link to human evolution.
It's amazing to think that those tiny mammalians can offer a glimpse into our ancestral past, revealing how our teeth have adapted over millions of years.
It's like the tiny time capsules carrying whispers of our evolutionary history. So, spill the beans. Did our cave-dwelling ancestors have mega mamelons or something?
Well, we can't say for sure about the size without a time machine and some dental floss.
Right.
But it's certainly a possibility. Our ancestors had larger teeth and more robust jaws due to their tougher diets, which required those strong incisors for biting and tearing.
Right. They were munching on roots, leaves, and untenderized meats. Talk about a jaw workout.
Exactly.
So it makes sense that those mamelons would have been even more crucial for guiding those powerful teeth through.
Exactly. Those mamelons would have played a vital role in ensuring those strong incisors emerged correctly and were ready for action. As our diets gradually shifted and became softer, our teeth and jaws elapsed, reducing in size.
Okay.
It's likely that the prominence of those mamelons decrease alongside those changes.
Wow, so those little bumps are a reminder of our chomping legacy, a testament to how our species has evolved and adapted to our changing environment.
It's a beautiful illustration of that fundamental principle of evolution, adapt or perishing. Our teeth, including those tiny mamelons, have been on quite the journey shaped by the forces of natural selection.
This brings us to another fascinating point, the potential link between modern diets and the persistence of mamelons. We briefly touched on this earlier, but I'd love to dig a little deeper. How are our modern eating habits influencing those little bumps?
Well, as our diets have become increasingly processed and soft, our jaws might not be developing to their full potential like they did for our ancestors who were constantly chewing on tough foods.
Right.
This could be contributing to a rise in certain dental issues like malocclusion and crowding, which, as we discussed, can increase the likelihood of persistent mamelons.
It's almost like our jaws are missing out on those gym sessions that our ancestors got from their chewy diets. So those little bumps might be a subtle sign of those shifting trends, a reflection of our evolving relationship with food.
Exactly. And it raises an important question. How will our teeth continue to adapt as our diets evolve? Will those mamelons become more prominent again? Or will they fade into obscurity as our food becomes even softer and more processed?
It's like a dental mystery unfolding before our very eyes. Those mamelons once overlooked are now revealing themselves as fascinating windows into our past, present, and even potential future. Who knew those tiny bumps held so much significance?
It's a testament to the power of observation and the endless wonders that lie within our own bodies. Sometimes the most profound discoveries are found in the most unexpected places.
Well said. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our Mamelon adventure. We've gone from basic anatomy to evolutionary history, touching on modern diets and even the ethics of cosmetic enhancement.
It's been a truly remarkable deep dive full of unexpected twists and turns. I hope our listeners have come away with a newfound appreciation for those tiny bumps on their teeth.
Me too. And remember, folks, the next time you glance in the mirror, take a moment to appreciate those little mamelons. They're not just random quirks. They're tiny time capsules connecting us to our evolutionary past, reflecting our present, and hinting at our future. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those pearly whites shining bright. Until next time, happy chomping.